All right, so now I'm gonna form the lips. Whenever you're thinking about the width of your lips, you should think about where the pupil is going to rest in the eye. And the corner of the lip usually sits in the middle of the pupil. Obviously, that's not always the case. There's always gonna be outliers. That's just a general guideline for proportions to the face. So what I'm gonna do next is I'll probably make the upper lip first, attach it, and then do the lower lip, attach that, and then I'll probably have to come back in and detail it and stuff. Same with everything else, but just try and get the general shape of how you want your mouth to look, and then form it into clay off of the pot, attach it to the pot, and then you can get into details. All right, here's the upper. All I'm gonna do is wet the surface, push it in, put my hand inside of the vase to give it support from the back wall. Push this in, and remember to make your lines on how you're gonna be pushing it. That is also important as to how the face comes out. You definitely wanna know the direction that you're gonna be pushing in. It sounds kind of silly, but definitely helps in my opinion. And this will also help if you have a surplus of clay to add more thickness to the face where the muscles are going to be in the face. So I think it helps. All right, I'm going to attach this. I'll make the bottom, attach that, and then I'll show you the next. All right, so I attached the top lip. Once I attached it, I like to flatten out the very peak, and that kind of makes the flatness of the lip. See it from the side, flatness of the lip. Right now it looks like there's a overbite right here just because there's no bottom lip or chin area, but that will all come. So next I'm going to add the bottom lip, and then we'll go for the eyes and we can get into the detail. All right, got another simple shape here for the bottom lip. Doesn't have to be anything crazy or extravagant. Marked out the shape and then the way I'm going to push. Add some water to it, attach it, and then I'll show you the next. All right, so I just want to re-emphasize where the pupil of the eye is going to be so that I can determine where the cutoff of the mouth should be. So I just need to adjust the mouth a little bit. And all you need to think about is making the part of the lip that pulls up and right there instead. So all of this excess material can just get taken off. I'm gonna do that with both sides. All right, I think I'm just gonna add the chin because the side profile is really throwing me off. For this right here, I think if I added it and came out to about right there, I'd feel happier with the side profile. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. All right, here's the shape. Here's where I cut it out. So for the chin, there are two muscles that go down beside it. So really I just make the point in the middle where the tip of your jawbone is at, and that should help with the profile of the face. All right, that chin kind of helps with the side profile a little bit. I can't really take this off of the bat yet, But the next step is going to be the eyes. And I did add more meat onto the nostril here. I'm going to have to add a little bit of something in here. And I did flatten the brow line down some more. Make sure you keep hydrating. I'm going to take this inside and cover it, hydrate it. I'm about to go get something to eat, so that's it for right now. Stay tuned for an update. All right, I am back. So with the chin, the side profile looks a lot better to me. I'm gonna add the eyes, and I'm just gonna do the same thing I've been doing with every other part on the face. I'm going to form the structure of the eye first, so I'm going to build that same hexagonal shape that I did with the eye socket. I'm just going to do that with the eye itself, and then I can form the eyelids and everything else on top of that once I get that general shape in and it looks right from the side and from the front. Alright, so when doing the eyes, you want them to be as symmetrical as possible, or at least I like them to be as symmetrical as possible. Maybe you don't. What I do is I roll out a coil, and then I'll try and find the middle of that coil. So you want to make sure that your coil is pretty cylindrical and pretty even in terms of volume of clay. And then you just split that in half and then break that apart, and each one of those pieces will be used for the eye. So then I can just shape them into whatever shape I want, and they should have around the same volume of clay, which should give me symmetrically around the same eye. Alright, I made the shape and I just kind of tacked it on there to see how it would look, kind of lining up where I think the pupil is going to be with this line right here. And I like the way it looks, so I'm going to go ahead and scratch and add water, scratch the back of this, and attach these on, and then I'll show you how to get into some detailing. Alright, so I got the eyes on there. I'm going to do some secondary features, adding a little bit more structure to the cheek area, cheekbone, cheek area around here, and probably form up the jawline somewhere around here. I'll probably just form it by pushing in. I'll go ahead and create that jawline too. Go ahead and flatten this out some. Alright, so around here, I like to add more onto the side of the nose, coming into the cheek area right around here, and usually around the mouth. That's where you usually get that crease whenever you smile, right around here. I'll probably make it like something like that kind of shape. Maybe I'll do more rounded. Something like that. Do that with the other side. Alright, so marked, and I've made my shapes, just a triangle, and then distort the sides to make curves, whatever else you need to do for your face, but shapes are made. Make sure you mark the backs, and then go ahead and spray that, and that'll almost make like a little slip if you have any of those little crusties on there. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. Put our hands inside the vase, support the back, then we're gonna push here in the front. We're gonna go and push down and smear into the path that we're supposed to be pushing to. So I'm not gonna push this straight down like that. That would mess up the contour of the face. You need to push in the direction that you want the slope to gradually decline in. If I push down this way, then there would be pretty much no slope to the side, which is what I want. I want it to wrap around the face more, not just to go straight down. So you really need to think about when you're pushing, where you're pushing, and also just the shape in general of the face, how you want the shape to be. All right, with the addition of the cheeks, you can tell that the face starts filling out a lot more. And hoping to get this off here soon so I can actually work on the chin a little bit more and follow that jawline up. But I think that's what I'll work on next, is the jawline, and then probably work on the eyelids, opening up the eyes some. I might also extend the brow out a little bit more. It's looking a little short. But from here, after you get the secondary stuff complete, like adding more of the nostril, maybe adding more of the brow, adding cheek, adding these muscles here that I can't really show because I can't really lift this up and get underneath it to kind of smooth things out the way I'd like. This is really it so far. And what I'm going to work on now is the jawline. And I should still be able to push this in. If not, then I'll just add with more clay, but I should be able to draw with my finger here where I want it to start. So it should start at the edge of the chin and work its way up, and right around here is where the ear would be, something like that. So you'd have the ear here, the jaw, and what I'm going to want to do is push in all of this area right here so that the jawbone protrudes out. And the same thing over here, just where the end of the chin meets the jawbone here, and then we got kind of like a C shape for the ear. Something like that. It should start, the ear should be the end of the brow, pretty much down to the bottom of the nose, which that may or may not be there. But really just get it symmetrical with the other side of the face. It looks about the same. So now I'll just go ahead and push this in, and all I'm going to do is support from the inside, push on the outside, maybe wet it down a little bit. Should be good to go. All right, so there is jawline and a little C shape for the ears. Now I'm just going to make the ears, mark it with the tool, and then add them. Just make a C shape and then add it to it. All right, so I guess it's more like a bean shape, but that's where I'm going to attach it to. And I want it to flare out probably a little bit here. So I should be able to see it like that. I'm looking at it from the front. But I'm going to go ahead and mark the back, mark this, wet it down. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so now I have the ears attached. These ears are massive, by the way, but oh well, they're already on there now. And it doesn't look like they're symmetrical, at least from this video. But, you know, that's something I'm working on, and it's one of the reasons why I like making faces on vases, is because it's an easy shape for me to work with, especially when making faces. That's just my opinion, but I haven't found other ways to reliably make a face that's already hollowed out. I've tried other methods of slabs and just using a whole block of clay and sculpting it out, and then trying to sculpt out the inside and hollow it out and stuff. And this is what I found to be the quickest and the most effective, especially with wild clay. With wild clay, I just don't have enough plasticity to form over any sort of structure. But I can make a vase with wild clay, which gives me a hollow form, and then I just need to learn as I go on how to form a face from it. So I feel like this has given me the most reliable results. So the next thing I want to do is just detail, and do not mind my dogs, but let's see here. I want to use, I think I'm going to want to use this tool right here, which it's like a little oval or ellipses kind of spoon type of thing. I don't know what you call it. It's got a slight curve on the inside and on the side profile, but I like it because I can start with that little area of the eye that's like pushed in right in here. Usually goes all the way, and then I just gently start opening up the eyelid. Just try and keep that same shape. Try and keep that same shape. Alright, the eyes have been formed, and what I want to do now is make these lips look more symmetrical. So really, this is where it pays to know the anatomy of the face and to really study a reference so that you can find those small details. I know that around these edges of the mouth here, it should look like it almost curls, like there's no real sharp edges right here at the end. It almost like it just forms around the face, whereas closer here you do want to show some sort of sharper edge right here, but not particularly right at the outside. It's almost like it curls around. So you kind of want to make that distinction there. This kind of curls around right here at the end. Same with the bottom area here. there's not as a distinct of an edge right here at the ends here. It's almost like this one curls in, this one kind of curls out. And I'm gonna have to make like a little deeper divot right here. So really I'm just gonna be adding a lot more details, and I doubt I'll record all that, but this is the basics. If you guys want to see more, if you want me to go into more detail about things, just let me know. And right now all I'm gonna do is just work on the details, hopefully give you guys a finished result either after it's been fired or just after I get done sculpting it out. Either way, I want to go ahead and say I appreciate you guys watching. Please comment if you have any questions. If you got any amount of knowledge or help from this, please subscribe. It helps out a lot. And until next time, see you then.